Hey everybody, and welcome to the Fatsani Dagani YouTube channel. In this episode, I will be talking about burnout and what you can do to overcome it. It's something that I've become passionate about. This is your first time joining me on this channel. Please go ahead and subscribe and share it to your network so they can benefit from my lessons learned. The intention behind my channel is to encourage people to be more intentional. And that means just creating the life of your dreams. I have learned that we live in a place where we get comfortable. We have dreams we never follow. But for me, I feel it is up to me to do the things that bring me joy and to create the type of life that I want. And that is why I have this YouTube channel, and I hope to inspire others to become more intentional. Back to the topic at hand, burnout. And why am I even talking about burnout? I have shared previously that I am a critical care nurse that's been working in a COVID medical intensive care unit for the past 2 years. Well, I've worked longer than that, but the past 2 years, mainly specifically dealing with COVID, and which has been a great contribution to my burnout. So I just want to share a couple of strategies that I've had to learn to use in order to address burnout. What is burnout? I think that's like a buzzword right now. Everybody's talking about burnout. More specifically, my nursing colleagues, we're all experiencing burnout. How we address it is variable depending on each person. They figure out a way of dealing with the burnout. For me, I've had to figure out different strategies that work for me. Dealing with it is an individual thing, but I think first and foremost, to dealing with burnout is acknowledging that you are experiencing burnout. And what does that look like? For me, it looked like just being tired all the time, being disengaged, just coming home and just wanting to sleep, going to work, but just having it as one of those things where you're like, oh, I have to go to work. Not finding any joy in actually going to work because I was just tired, feeling frustrated, feeling annoyed, feeling just mentally and emotionally drained. I call it a fog. There were times when I just felt like I was in a fog because of the burnout. So when COVID first hit, I think we all didn't know how to take it. It was something new. We had no idea how long it would last. We couldn't travel. All we had was work, especially me. I put my heart and soul into working. I would pick up extra, I would go overtime just to be there for my team. And our census did increase because we were seeing more and more patients. So the workload increased as well. So for the first year of COVID, that was 2020, after March, it got busy and really all I did was work. But then I did acknowledge that I was beginning to get burnt out. So I tried to find different activities that actually brought me joy, and one of them was the running. I got into running because there was nowhere else to go. We have a decent neighborhood with a lot of walking paths and running paths. So I got into running, and that kind of started filling my cup up with joy. But after a while, I got lazy again. It was just more about work and so on. I did manage to travel in between. I think when the borders opened up, I traveled back home for a couple of weeks, 2 weeks. Got to also go to Nairobi. I stayed in Kenya for a bit. So that was a big breath of fresh air, just being outside and being outside of the country and doing something different. I love travel. Travel during COVID is definitely not the same, but it is something that is different. So that to me is a way of dealing with burnout. But I come back to burnout again, because even though I did kind of travel, I really wasn't taking a lot of time to do a lot of things that brought me joy. I got myself busy just doing other activities, and that's another way of me coping with burnout. I try and find projects and I work on things that are completely outside of nursing. I call myself an entrepreneur. I have different projects going. So those things help me in dealing with my burnout. I did a life coaching certification, started an Instagram, just trying to encourage people to live intentionally, um, publishing different things just to be focusing on something outside of healthcare or outside of COVID. But at the same time, I realized that I was not doing enough. So when you look at my PTO bank, I have a lot of vacation hours that have just been accumulating over the last 2 years. And that is because, like I said, with COVID, there wasn't much to do. And I kind of felt like I was coping pretty well. And did different activities and read some. Like I said, I ran some, but a lot of it was just at home, not going to a lot of places. So because of that, I started looking more at, what else are other people doing? Like, what are my nurse colleagues doing? And I found our conversations at work were tied to burnout. A lot of us were feeling burnt out and tired. So that got me thinking to say, what would help me get out of this burnout phase? And I'm like, you know what? I think going with my interest in travel, wouldn't it be nice to just have a retreat with like-minded women or people that are going through similar experience to mine, to just be able to breathe and be present and just have time to reflect on this whole burnout thing and address it and become intentional and create coping mechanisms or strategies that can help with dealing with the whole burnout. And so I got me thinking. I thought, you know what? I would love, love, love to have a retreat and have like-minded women gather together and rest and meditate, do yoga, enjoy food, enjoy nature. And that was where my retreat idea kind of took shape, and I started looking more into it. And I am so excited to say that that seed is growing into a beautiful flower. And I have a retreat all outlined for like-minded women to be able to go and deal with burnout and just have fun in Arusha, Tanzania. The dates are from the 17th to the 26th of September 2022, Arusha in Tanzania. A beautiful, I give myself credit. I have found a beautiful, beautiful villa that can take up to 12 people with a chef. We have yoga instructor and some lovely Maasai ladies as well that are going to be teaching us how to do beadwork. A couple of activities outside of the villa. We have a whole day scheduled to go to Ngorongoro Crater to enjoy some wildlife safari and be out there in nature. The villa that I have managed to find and secure from the 17th to the 26th of September is nestled in 19 acres of beautiful land. It has a gorgeous pool where you can hang out. It has other small villas within the compound and transportation provided from the airport. talk about lovely food prepared by a chef that's on site. Food is included. It's 9 days. And I wanted to create something valuable. I wanted to create something that people would be able to speak about for years to come. I wanted to just have a space where my fellow burnt out nurses, burnt out individuals, women, would be able to hang out and enjoy life and just be present, like I said, in nature. And that is what I think we need to do in order to address burnout is find activities that bring us joy in order to realize that life can be fun. Life can have different meanings. Yes, we're there, we give our all to our patients, we give our all to our jobs, but at the same time, we can give our all to ourselves by doing things that bring us joy. So that is one way I find dealing with burnout. I acknowledge that I am burnt out. I acknowledge that I have to do something to address my burnout. And I am addressing my burnout by having a 9-day retreat in Arusha. And I'm inviting fellow women, fellow burnt out nurses to join me on the retreat and address the burnout issue and actually just enjoy a different country and see something different, have the time to rest, to relax, to do some yoga, and to enjoy a different culture. That is what I'm doing about my burnout, acknowledging that I am burnt out and doing something about it, which is part of intentional living. So if you want to keep hearing more about this retreat that I have planned, keep following me. I am putting the final touches in place. I have a waitlist going. I will be setting everything up on my website. I do have a website, just haven't done a lot with it lately, but I will be setting everything up through my website to have a waitlist. I will be taking deposits and payments, and all that will become clear. I'm doing the final crunching the numbers to see how I can put as much value as I can to this awesome 9-day retreat. It's 9 days because we will be flying all the way to Arusha, and I feel like that's a long distance to travel, and 9 days should be adequate. 4 or 5 days I think would be too short for the distance that we'll be traveling. So a 9-day retreat is planned from the 17th to the 26th of October. And for me, that is how I am dealing with burnout. What are you guys doing? What do you do to deal with your burnout? Are you acknowledging that you are burnt out? Let's make that conversation normal. It is, after all, part of intentional living. So thank you for watching. If you want to be hearing more from me about this retreat or other aspects of intentional living, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, share it, tell your friends about it. Thank you. Have a great day.